I want to add one more plant to the plant list that's associated with. This is a drawing for an area in Florida, and I've loaded a plant list that's called Florida GCP, and you can also see it down here in the status line. I want to add another species, the umbrella tree, Schefflera. Oh dear, caps lock's on. Common mistake. Schefflera actinophy, filler, and umbrella tree. And I'd classify that as a small tree, I guess. You may disagree. So that's been added to the list. What I can now do is say, okay, of the plants that are there, which ones have been associated with the list? So I can go, show me the symbols with names, and they're highlighted. A number haven't been done, but this Schefflera actinophylla we can now tag. So gCADPlus, set data to a plant, pick that one, highlight that. I've got a spelling error there which I could fix up in a moment. And now we can, admittedly there are still 2 or 3 more to put in, but I can show you how to generate the plant schedule, and it'll automatically calculate the number of each particular species that's been used. So it's gCADPlus, draw the plant schedule, we just draw a box, and it'll do all the hard work for us. So if we zoom in on here, the shrimp plant has been used 7 times, 15 crotons, 3 bougainvillea, dietes by dicolour. So it's done all the counting for us and produced a reasonably nice list. You could, if you wanted to, move or copy. Whoops, you could explode the list. Then you could pick that number 1. Whoops, a little difficult to get. Pick the number 1 and you could copy it and put it down near to that plant if your client needed that sort of labelling, but they can usually work things out from there. In a later version of gCADPlus we'll give you the option of not having that column, but it's quite useful as it stands. Well, it's time now to present this design. We want to just present this small part of the design that we've done to the client to get their reaction to our work, and it's time to create a layout sheet. So it's format, layouts, and we're going to make a new one. Because this is in the US, we'll go for US size sheet, and we'll make it album, and away we go. And if we move to the layout, I'd give it a name. A little later you can see that although we've got the area that we're interested in, we want to make a magnified version of that. And the way that's done is to select the sheet, activate the viewport. We're only interested in a much smaller view, so we want to take into account that, maybe a little bit bigger, and we'll come down to something like that and display that on the layout. I'll unselect all, deactivate the viewport. I'll pick the frame, the edge of the floating viewport, and set its colour to white. And I'll unselect all. So what that does is remove that border, which I find a little irritating. So here we are with our drawing. You'll notice that because we had line weights on, we can see the line weight. It doesn't look anywhere near as heavy here as it did in the model space, because here we're working on quite a large piece of paper. But we've got some definition of the line weight of the garden edging, and you best control that by layer settings. And we've got a thicker line weight on the house. I think I made that 0.2. I should have made that larger. By the way, in the US, you could change your line thicknesses, its line weights. Units for listing can be fractions of an inch, and apply that. Now we're working in, instead of working in millimeters, we work in fractions of an inch. So there's our layout, all presented quite nicely for the client. I'll take the grid off, it's a little disconcerting, and it's now time to print. A quick print would be to a PDF file, so it would be File, Save as PDF, and go Window and then just pick your window. But I would be in the habit of printing to one of the PDF writers that will give you a much better looking result than the quick PDF print will. So hopefully that assists in tagging plants, loading a named and specialized plant list, displaying plants that are tagged, generating the plant schedule. What I haven't done here is run through the putting ground cover and working the ground cover calculator out, but that's probably enough for this little movie.